out the mist, and he pretty much was on some Mortal Kombat X. He was. What's good? So we talking about Samurai Jack. Let's talk about the episode. So the episode Samurai Jack season 5, episode 3 starts off from where 2 ended, and it was pretty much Jack, his downfall after getting faded by the Aku sisters or henchmen or minions, whatever you guys like to call it. And thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, Jack, you kind of was taking an L. Now, for future references, my reviews are spoiler warnings, but I do want you guys to know that I do this to bring out points later on towards the end of the video. So Samurai Jack, they show him in his struggle, him in pain, him with the blade in his knife. He takes the blade out his knife. One of the probably most goriest moments of the show so far, besides episodes 2, Samurai Jack killing one of the Aku minions. That was probably like off the charts, just seeing that blood come out like that. And I feel like the creator, I cannot pronounce his name, but I know it's a G and a T and something like that. But I feel like he's not going to make, and he even said that he doesn't want to make it really excessive, like too much blood, but he's trying to get the user used to seeing it. Alright, now we go back to the wolf. The wolf was my favorite portion of this whole episode, because the wolf was in episode 2. In episode 3, what Samurai Jack does that other cartoons generally don't do is they keep that young symmetry, symbolism, and impact, and they put it all together in storytelling. And he has a wonderful thing of that, because I thought when we saw the wolf, it was a one-time thing. We would never see the wolf again. When you actually see characters reoccur in cartoons, that's kind of rare, because most cartoons nowadays, aka the Amazing Adventures of Flapjack, Gumball, Chowder, you have some characters that come up via specific episodes, but you don't really see them actually add too much to the story progression. You might get a few details about the character, but it really doesn't do anything about helping the character. And what that wolf does was not only just symbolism, but it also adds supporting, details and supporting, supporting, I don't know, but it just supports the main character's endeavors on his adventure of we know and love the boy Samurai Jack. Next part is my favorite part of the episode, because it gets savage. My review gonna be kind of short this time. Might be a little bit longer. But before I go to that thing, I love how that Jack, when he first saw Jack in episode, I think 1, he was talking to himself without, the beard. The old Samurai Jack from season 4 on and back. The one we know and love. And then we see Samurai Jack in this episode a little bit different. It was like the same one from episode 1 of season 5. But it was more distorted, seeing how Jack is going through a mental breakdown and he needs to find himself, and he doesn't have that. And a thing with Samurai Jack is that they show his father. His father was the emperor before Aku went on him. He faded him all. And keep this in mind, that's very symbolic as well. Like this right here, like what's going to happen when I tell y'all later, y'all gonna know. So Jack, father was the emperor, comes to fade all the little evil bad guys of water and whatnot, and it's blood all on Jack's face. He goes, cleans it off back in their home, their dojo, their shrine, wherever they live, and he hits them with this quote. I can't remember the quote, but it was pretty much like, do not fret, you can't be afraid, you have to be strong. That's what I got from it. And Jack at that point in time, by him, why the wolf, that flashback all connected, is because it showed the development of Samurai Jack getting over, his schizophrenic or paranoia. Like, wait, the biggest part. Alright, we get to the Liddy part. This is my favorite part of the episode. Samurai Jack versus the 6 sisters, or I call them sisters. It just sounds raw. Aku sisters of my blood. Okay. Anyway, it just sounds predominantly lit that way to me. And Samurai Jack comes out the mist, and he pretty much was on some Mortal Kombat X. He was on some Mortal Kombat X when he came out the shadows. He just hit up with the knee, and then like his savage levels evolved. And I feel like the big issue with Samurai Jack was that when you think about it, it's something that made that what they did in this episode that made me love the show is because it's a little hint to something that if you really paid attention to all the Samurai Jack episodes, you would have known that he never fought anybody human or killed anybody human. It was all of Aku's robots and minions, you get what I'm saying? Was nobody really human-like. And it's something that the creator knew that fans of the series were like, oh, dang, he never did that, really? You know, it was amazing. You know, it was really wonderful to see that he still remembered that for us. Some other series needs to learn how to keep up with stuff from 17 years ago. Anywho, Samurai Jack, he was fighting. This character, Samurai Jack, is probably the most GOAT character in all of history. He's probably the most lit character of all mankind. Alright, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Samurai Jack went from fighting with spears. He killed 3 of them in a minute. At least 3 of the Kaku sisters in a minute. And then he was like, boy, he played the Nintendo Switch. Samurai Jack went to go play the Nintendo Switch, and he said, who needs weapons when I got arms? He had these hands ready, and he faded. He did his work. Then we get to the end of the episode. Samurai Jack goes crazy, drops one of the last Aku sisters in like this pit of shrine thorns and shit like that, meaning that they may not be dead like the Aku sisters, at least 3 of them. Or they might not have died, but so far, that was an episode. Bottom line, I want to say this. Bottom line, this episode was really done really well. It was more story driven than action based, because like you needed the story. It was one of those episodes that was like 90% story and then 10% action, but the action was pretty much one of the most memorable moments of all time. So that's all I'm gonna say. Samurai Jack season 5 episode 3 was better or just as good as episode 2. Episode 2 just had more suspense. So that's why a lot of people, if you watch a lot of reaction reviews, they are saying that episode is predominantly better than the rest. So comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me how you guys feel. Avataryaya is out. I'm done. Goodbye. And remember, go crazy.
On the beat.